All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Monday, August 12th, 2019, and we just finished with week 1 of the NFL preseason, so that's pretty cool. We just got through 16 wonderful games. I guess you could put wonderful really in an asterisk because, it's really just a battle of the backups to see who's going to make the team, who's going to be, what kind of depth do you have is what is exposed in week 1. A lot of teams were exposed to be paper thin at whatever position groups that they have, and other teams were kind of shown to be like, hey man, we got a lot going on here. Our backups are really good. They could probably start. So we'll obviously see some of those teams as we look at the scores from the weeks prior. And, when we go over teams, we'll see how they did the week before and whatever. But it doesn't really matter. It's week 1 and week 2 of the preseason and really week 4, are just sort of tryouts. What kind of depth do you got? Week 4 is garbage. Week 3 is really the week of the preseason. Everybody should watch. The starters play for the first 3 quarters. You see generally what the kind of offense you're going to run, what kind of defense. The first 2 games, not really much going on. It's a battle of depth. What kind of depth you got? Week 3 is the dress rehearsal, the walkthrough kind of thing. So there's more going on. And week 4, I don't even know what the hell game that is. That's what that game is basically. So we're going to go over our week 2 NFL preseason picks. We went 12-4 last week, so that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and jump in to see what we got going on for week 2. To start off, we have Thursday night, Monday night, we have Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. So we're inundated with football. As soon as Thursday hits, there's no escaping it, folks. I'm excited as hell. Week 2 is already better than week 1 just because we got football till next Tuesday. So that's really cool. I'm excited about that. It feels more like the regular season, except, Friday and Saturday, that doesn't happen. But I'm not complaining a little bit here. So Thursday night football to start off, we have the Philadelphia Eagles heading into Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. Or they play in Duval or wherever who cares. The Eagles are 0-1 and lost their game to the Titans 27-10, and the Jaguars are 0-1, lost their game 29-0. The Eagles really kind of just exposed both teams as being paper thin. I mean, they have good starting offenses if Nick Foles is good for the Jaguars, that is. And the Eagles have a good starting offense if Wentz is healthy. So really all this shows us is that neither team has any kind of depth because they got blown out by the Titans and Ravens. So that to me shows, minus injuries, maybe these teams will be good. Didn't really see much from either, though. But what I did see is the Jaguars were unable to get anything going on offense without the starters. The Eagles at least got 10 points against a very deep Titans team. So I like the Eagles to go ahead and win this game. It's a battle of backups and depth. Eagles got more of that than the Jaguars. I like the Eagles 17-10. Or, I just like the Eagles to win. The score is really irrelevant. It's just mainly, that's just kind of a placeholder, what I think the score might be. So, Eagles win, though. We'll see. And then we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 0-1, and they lost to the Chiefs 38-17, versus the Redskins, who are 0-1, who lost 30-10 to the Cleveland Browns. Now, both teams lost to pretty good teams, so there's that. Both teams that they lost to have depth, a lot of talent on the team. The whole teams are just set up to win and do very, very well. So, I mean, losses for these two teams was kind of expected heading into week 1. Now into week 2, it's kind of weird that they're playing each other. I find these teams to be sort of similar to each other. Very big questions on offense, very big questions on defense. But there's a weird amount of promise and maybe some hype heading into it, especially when I seen the Bengals' first team offense take the field against the Chiefs. I mean, it was the Chiefs' defense, but Dalton marched down the field and looked really good in that opening drive. So I wonder if there's something brewing in Cincinnati. I know Dalton won't really impact this game. I just felt like throwing that out there. Bengals haters, I don't think they're winning 3 games. I think that offense is going to shock people. They look damn good without A.J. Green, so we'll see about all that. And the Redskins, I don't know. I just wasn't that impressed by anything I seen. Or with the Bengals, they hung 17 on the Chiefs, I guess. Somebody's got to win this game, I would imagine, and I'm just going to go with the Bengals 20-14 just because they looked better against a better team, in my opinion. So, whatever. I'm not very comfortable with the Bengals and Redskins pick, by the way. This game I'm even more uncomfortable with. Some of these picks, some of these are really just toss-ups to me. We have the New York Jets taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Jets are 0-1 this preseason, having lost 31-22 to the in-state rival New York Giants. The Atlanta Falcons 0-2. They've lost to the Broncos, and then they also lost this last week to the Miami Dolphins. Very embarrassing loss, very hilarious, 34-27. So what do I see going in here? The Falcons have no depth. They've lost both of their games that have, the Hall of Fame game, complete battle of depth. The last game, battle of depth, they lost. This game, I have a feeling if we see some of the starters, which we won't see Julio, he said he's not doing the preseason. So to me, this just proves one thing. Atlanta has no depth, and we knew that last year when everybody got hurt and they sucked. Even though Matt Ryan had like a near MVP quality season. Go look it up. Beautiful numbers for Ryan last year. Team got hurt, they stunk, despite great quarterback play. So we're seeing this in the preseason personified. They're just losing to bad teams like the Broncos and the Dolphins is embarrassing. You let the Dolphins hang 34 on your backups, that's... wow. Jesus. And then the Jets, whatever. They're not playing starters really, so you don't get Le'Veon, you don't get X, Y, and Z. So it's a little bit of a delayed whatever. So I just think it would be funny if the Falcons went 0-5, so I'm going to pick against them all preseason. Even though I have them winning the division this year, it's just I'm just picking on them. So I like the Jets to win 24-21, just because I'm picking the Falcons to lose all the games. It's the preseason, so what? I don't have to pick seriously until next week. Last week I had the Packers losing 26-0 to the Texans. Great segue, if I might add, to this point. So I think every team so far has, all the teams we had picked had lost all their games. We had not yet had a winning team to talk about. Now we have two teams that are both 1-0. The Green Bay Packers won their game 28-26. Very close game against the Texans. Despite them, the score is a lot closer when it seems. Green Bay should have destroyed this team. So I'm very worried about the Packers. They had I think 5 turnovers or something created against the Texans. It was insanity, but they only won by 2 points. That's very troubling. I do not give them a chance to win this game. I'm going to be outright. The Texans are a shit show without Deshaun Watson. They went 4-12 the year without him. We already know they have no depth, so not really shocked that they did that to the Texans. And they still barely beat them. You know what I mean? A team with no depth that went 4-12 the year before. The year without Deshaun. So, yeah. So, then we have the Baltimore Ravens, who are 1-0, and they destroyed the Jacksonville Jaguars 29-0. CJ who? Za'Darius, huh? This to me shows the Ravens have a shitload of depth like they always do. They didn't need those two guys because, like I've said before, I don't really trust guys that the Ravens give up on and just let leave. They don't typically give up on generational defensive changing, culture defensive changing players. They really don't. Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, until they get old and maybe, whatever. Terrell Suggs, he's in his 17th year and they finally let him go. So I don't know. I just really think the Ravens are going to be just fine. I think the Packers got tricked. I think that the Jets got tricked. But we'll see about all that. I do think the Ravens will win this game just because I think the Packers kind of got lucky in their first game playing a team that's really bad without the starters. So I like the Ravens to win 23-20. Kind of easily. The score is going to be a lot closer than the game indicates, kind of like how the Packers game was. The Packers won that game easily, but that's really close. That's not a good thing if you have that many turnovers forced. And then we have the final game on Thursday. I believe the Oakland Raiders take on the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams played pretty good first games. Both are 1-0. The Raiders beat the Rams 14-3, and the Cardinals beat the Chargers 17-3. Kyler Murray looked okay in his debut. Kind of timid. Made some decent throws. Ran around a little bit. 4 for 4, 4 of 6 or so. He had a very good debut. Looks very small, obviously, but that's all right. It's not a height competition to play quarterback in the NFL, so we'll see. I want to see him take a big hit. He kind of dove, I just got to see it happen, then everybody can relax a little bit. The Raiders are the Raiders. Antonio Brown's pissy about a helmet, even though it's more, I think, more to do with the frostbit feet. I don't think that really matters to the Raiders. I think they're just going to do their thing anyway. So I don't think they beat the Cardinals, though. I like the Cardinals winning 17-14. I think the Cardinals are going to have a good little camp, win 2 or 3 preseason games, and I think this is one of them. I think they have tremendous depth compared to a lot of teams because a lot of their depth are just, high pick rookies because they've been terrible for years. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, it works. And a lot of like veteran players that they sign that are trying to make the team. It's kind of a weird situation where a lot of decently high draft picks are playing right now for the Cardinals, so they should beat a lot of teams in the preseason, I think. So 17-14, give me the Cardinals over the Raiders. Friday Night Football, we've got up first, let's see, Friday Night Lights. We got the Buffalo Bills hosting the Carolina Panthers. Both teams are 1-0. The Buffalo Bills fresh off a victory against the Indianapolis Colts, 24-16. And the Carolina Panthers kind of, in my opinion, stunned the Bears 23-13. This kind of... The Colts don't have depth, and the Bills are the Bills, so they're going to be whatever. I think their starters and their backups are about the same skill, so that doesn't really mean much. It's just the Colts are paper thin. The Panthers, that one shocked me. I thought the Bears were going to do a lot better than they did, but the Panthers must have a lot of I keep saying depth, but you know what I mean. So they looked really good in their win. I wonder how they're going to look next week. So I'm very interested. I like the Panthers winning this game 24-20. The Panthers could catch my eye as a potential dark horse to win the NFC, or to make the playoffs this year, to kind of be like the upsetter in the division for teams trying to make a wild card. Could there be 3 teams from the NFC South in the playoffs this year? Maybe the Panthers. I don't know. We'll see. I like Panthers winning this game 24-20. I just don't like the Bills, so I don't really like to pick them. I just hate the Colts more, so I picked them last week. So, I don't know. We have 2 teams that both lost. The Giants lost to the Jets 31-22, and the Bears lost to the Panthers. Duh. That's obviously because it's just the Bears are just like, I don't think they care about. I don't think they're playing any starters or anybody who might play in the regular season to avoid injury. So the Bears are probably going to lose most of their games in the preseason, and the Giants, I just think they're funny and they're going to lose a lot just because, like, in 2019 or in 2018, they drafted a running back in the first round, like a bunch of nincompoops, when they probably could have, well, it's whatever. They could have probably taken a better quarterback and, Sam Darnold, and it's whatever. Saquon's going to do great things. He had that great year last year and you won one more game. Slow clap. So anyway, I like the Bears to win this game just because the Giants stink. 14-10, Bears win. Low score. 2 teams that surprised me very mightily in their first preseason weeks. I thought the Dolphins might be one of the worst teams in the league. They beat the Falcons 34-27. They have depth. They have some starters. They have, they got something going on. Rosen, whatever his fucking name is, looked pretty good. Fitzpatrick, I don't even know who played quarterback for the Dolphins. I'll be honest. I didn't look at the box score. I really didn't. They won though, 34-27. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had played a very close game against the Steelers. I sort of like I like the Buccaneers winning this game 31-28. I'll be honest, I don't know much about either of these teams. I'm going to be honest and just not fill your head with lies and nonsense of me trying to figure something out. I don't know about either of these 2 teams. Dolphins don't got a line and the quarterback situation's iffy. So I like the Bucs. I don't know. We got the Cleveland Browns and the Indianapolis Colts. The same. I've already said what the problem with the Colts is earlier. The Browns are 1-0. They won 30-10 against the Washington Redskins. The Indianapolis Colts 0-1 with the loss against the Bills. I already talked about the Colts, paper thin. They're good as a starting unit. They have very good starters, but as soon as you kind of break into the depth, they're not that good. They turn back into whatever the fuck they were before Andrew Luck or whenever he's hurt. And the Browns just destroyed the Redskins, so I like them winning this game. They beat them up. The starters for the Browns looked efficient. The backups looked efficient. The whole thing was just this giant monster of efficiency. Give me the Browns 27-20. Easy pick. This game I actually changed because I had the Titans winning at first, but then I did some thinking. I like the Patriots winning this 23-20. The Patriots beat the Detroit Lions 31-3, and the Titans beat the Eagles 27-10. Both teams are 1-0. This game's in Tennessee. Usually you go with Tennessee, but something I did notice is that the Patriots are incredibly, incredibly deep, especially on offense. They made Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham look like goddamn, Pro Bowl caliber quarterbacks for other teams if they were to be traded. And that's, N'Keal Harry, Will Myers, number 83, number 82. Those guys all had very, very good games for being young receivers. I think 2 of them, maybe 3 of them are rookies. So that's very good depth. Bolden was a very good running back. That to me, it seems like the backups for the Patriots are good enough to start for most teams. So I think they're going to have a very good preseason. Belichick said this is one of his favorite years heading into coaching. He's very excited about the players he has. One of his most athletic teams ever. Let's see how he utilizes it. I think we can beat the Titans. A normal kind of boogeyman for us for whatever reason. 23-20. Give me the Patriots. This game's going to have no defense whatsoever. Look, they're both 1-0. They both won their games 38-17 and 30-28. Vintage of how they both won last year. I hope we see a shootout in the preseason, but I don't know how likely that is. If that happens, I like the Chiefs winning 31-30. We kind of know what both of these teams are. The Chiefs, they run through Mahomes and Big Ben. Without Big Ben and Mahomes out there, this is a boring ass matchup, but both teams will score some points. That'll be cool to see. So, Chiefs 31, Steelers 30. As you can tell, as the video is getting longer and longer, I care less about these games. No, I'm just kidding. The Detroit Lions take on the Houston Texans. The Lions are 0-1 with a loss against the New England Patriots, 31-3. The Chiefs beat the Bengals 38-17, and the Steelers beat the Buccaneers 30-28, even though you kind of know that. So the Lions lost to the Patriots 31-13, just got destroyed. Very paper thin team. I didn't expect the Lions to have that much lack of depth unless they were just trying dudes out for week 1. Typically the old Patriot way, but we'll see. That has to be seen. We'll see how they do against the Texans. Houston is 0-1. They lost 28-26. They had a lot of turnovers in that game. I think they cleaned that up for this game. I think that's just a symptom of bad backups, just young cats not knowing what they're doing really. Just kind of an ugly debut, but they still kept it close. So I wonder if that's symptomatic of how good the team can be, but they just had a weird start, and it was tough to overcome. I don't know, but I think since it's in Houston, I like the Texans winning 21-20 over the Detroit Lions. And that's my team, too. I love the Lions, but the preseason stinks for teams like them. 2 teams I really know nothing about. Sorry. I know that the Cowboys aren't going to be playing starters. The Rams do not play starters in the preseason, so pretty much any player that's worth a shit for the Rams won't be playing, so it's very easy for them to pick them to go 0-4 in the preseason. Really, it is. They're not playing anybody, so 24-10 Cowboys win just because the Rams are not playing anybody worth a damn. I think Bortles is starting the game, so the Cowboys and the Rams are 0-1. The Cowboys lost their game 17-9 to the San Francisco 49ers, and the Los Angeles Rams lost their game to the Raiders. Let's go to Sunday Night Football, where we have a couple games. We have the New Orleans Saints, who are 0-1 with a 34-25 loss to the Minnesota Vikings, taking on the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 0-1 with a 17-13 loss to the Arizona Cardinals. We already know what the Saints are. They run through Drew Brees. Teddy Bridgewater's halfway decent, halfway capable of running a team. As he gets more experience in the preseason, he looked more comfortable against Minnesota as it went on. So I kind of like that. The Chargers, without Phillip Rivers in the starters, that's a boring team. So they got smoked out by the fucking Cardinals defense. So nah. They're not going to do that well. The Saints have a much better defense than the Cardinals. Even the backup defenders for the Saints are better than the Cardinals starters for their defense. So give me the Saints in this one pretty handily, pretty confidently, 20-17, even with backups and everything. So and then we have the Seahawks and the Vikings. Both teams are 1-0. The Seahawks are 1-0 off of a win against the Broncos, 22-14, and the Minnesota Vikings 1-0 off a win against the New Orleans Saints. The Seahawks looked all right. I really didn't watch either of the Seahawks, and I didn't look at anything. And with the Vikings and the Saints, that was a pretty good game. Vikings got a lot of depth, dude. They just kept scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring. Even the backup for Kirk Cousins came in and played very, very well. So I kind of like that, but I don't know. I like Seattle this year. I don't know what it is. It's hard to pick against them. They have a lot of depth. They're well coached. The young guys, I feel like their young guys and their backups are better coached than other teams because Pete Carroll is the king of developing young players and getting them along quickly. So I think they have this weird edge in the preseason. So give me the Seahawks over the Vikings 17-16. Let's go on to the final game of the week, which is going to be Monday Night Football. We have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Denver Broncos. I think this is a foregone conclusion. The 49ers are going to win 20-14. They're 1-0. They beat the Cowboys 17-9. Broncos are 0-2 with a 22-14 loss to the Seahawks. Broncos are pretty goddamn thin. They don't really know what they're doing on offense half the time. They're not playing any of their star defenders, so that's pretty cut and dry. They're not that good a team in the preseason. The 49ers have a lot of depth, especially at quarterback with Nick Mullins and just a cornucopia of guys who got a lot of starting playing time last year. So I like them winning a lot of games in the preseason. I think they'll win 20-14, and yeah. So our preseason pick'em record: Hall of Fame game 0-1, Week 1 12-4, overall 12-5. So those were the picks for Week 1. Not too bad, not too long of a video, so I'm going to try to wrap it up here pretty quickly. What do you think of the picks? Let me know down below. Leave a comment. I'll get back to you with mine. Give me your picks. We'll note the differences and see who has a better pick'em result. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Yeah, for weekly content related to the NFL, weekly videos like this, especially when the season starts, these videos take off pretty nicely. Let me know what you think of the video. Any comments, anything down below, let me know. I'll continue the conversation. Like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Go Patriots, go Lions. Video over. Bye-bye.